It's live.
Go ahead and say, so we're live now, right? Oh, that was just creepy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're live. Okay, I see it. Okay, so there's some sort of echo or something going on. Oh, no wonder. It's on in the background. My bad. Okay, so the whole thing of doing this show each Sunday is that we can go ahead and speak about world issues and speak about everything that essentially is spiritual and interdimensional things, uh, time travel, astral projection, really everything. The show is going to be about really everything and a lot of things that make. I think this will be great because we can go ahead and invite people on here and give them a platform to speak about their experiences and to whether it's they have healed naturally or they have supernatural experiences, and all the way to supporting small businesses and encouraging growth in that area. So this show is really about all of those sort of things. Each week we will choose a subject. This week we've chosen time travel, but it's our first show, so essentially we're having a bit of issues. So next week and after it'll get better. So I think what we should just focus on this week is talking a bit about our backgrounds and why we want to do this, and also about really the goals we have with doing something like this, instead of just doing the subject of time travel. Hi guys, are you still there?
I suppose I better introduce myself.
Yes.
I'm Nyssa, and I was attracted initially to Sarah's work and to Sarah through seeing her videos on the Basis Project, because as a child I was born extremely sensitive, and I had the unique I can't really say it's a gift because it's not nice to have past life memories, to be born with past life memories, and to be extremely sensitive as a child and to be able to pick up on other people. I suppose it's called being an intuitive empath nowadays, but back in the 80s, it was, oh, she's a daydreamer, she's too sensitive, she's got a vivid imagination. So, I'm very excited about the way things are moving forward. But I do have a deep empathy for children who are in the same boat, perhaps born to parents who have no empathy themselves. Because some of the times these children are born into families where they're shut down. I mean, they're shut down anyway, because society isn't geared up for people like that, because it wouldn't work. Society as a system wouldn't work with people who had empathy for other people, because then there would be no one suffering, because everyone would be trying to help everyone else. Because literally when someone hurts themselves, I'll feel it in my body. And if everyone was like that, then we'd see ourselves in everyone else, which is more the way quantum physics shows us the way the universe works, but we've been so condensed down into seeing ourselves as egotistical sort of individuals that someone else has to suffer for us to be successful. But a lot of these children, well, first of all, they're trying to communicate telepathically, and they're trying to understand people around them, and they're reaching out telepathically, and they're getting punished for that because they're, daydreamers, absent-minded. Sometimes they're dyslexic, or they can't speak very well because their brains are more functioning in a way that people can't understand. And so, in the future, what I would like to do is give like a safe haven or a voice to these children, to help them with these emotional problems, and to basically and also to wake people up to past lives and how that impacts their current lives as well,
Yes.
because we carry on these emotional, energetic, like overcoats of things that perhaps happened a couple centuries ago, or but we take it with us. um so yeah, it would be good if people actually looked into um their own history to clear their own karma. um and yeah, so I mean, do you feel you felt a bit like that as a child as well, Sarah, or?
Well, the interesting thing is that what you were saying about empathy and you can feel other people's pain. I have this very deeply. I have issues getting into hospitals because of this. Or if somebody's sick and I not go around them, it's like I try, my energy sort of goes to them to try to help heal them. And I found out this is a child. I remember where I came from, everybody would interact and speak through emotions. And when there was a weakness in one, we could sense the emotion and that they were going down, so we would all come and help on an energetic level. So everybody was connected like that. And the disconnect that I see in the world and the coldness is quite shocking to me. It's as if people are more robotic. Everybody is sort of living in a sort of, we're in a sort of transhumanist state, sad to say, because people are not awakening to the emotions of themselves or to others, really, unless it's egotistical, They're disconnected from themselves. They're disconnected from people that are in pain. They're disconnected from the environment. This is a huge, huge issue. Um, Lately, I've just been having so many experiences with the earth, and the earth sort of speaking to me about this, and it's really upset at the disconnect of humanity. So I think that many empaths came here to Earth to essentially do their best to try to, they came from the higher frequencies to try to relight the emotional connection, the heart, but also the emotional connection. Because in the end, no matter what religion, what race, or anything, we definitely are all connected on an energetic level, and we need to realize this. I really enjoyed the movie Avatar because it showed how they were connected to nature and to each other. Yes, and this is one of my things also, is trying to help empaths, help children who are very gifted, and also to try to encourage people to reconnect to themselves emotionally and also to connect to others.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the way technology is going, I feel that the reason a lot of the people right at the top, like I won't say names for legal reasons, but you know who I mean, who's in charge of the computer
Yes.
situation. Um, it's almost, if they can make themselves as robotic as possible, then they come out of the karmic loop and they can
Yes, they
release
do.
themselves. They can, well, not release themselves, but they can, it's like a get out of jail free card. Instead of going through the energetic karmic sort of cycles
Cycle,
of,
yes.
they're kind of they kind of think if they can turn themselves into, sort of basically a computer consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
first of all they can live forever,
Yes.
um and second of all they've they don't have to answer to anything they've done, which if they went through the natural cycles of things they would have to. Their soul would have a penance to pay.
Of
um
course.
yeah, so I think that's the transhumanism. And also, when a person has, say, like implants or animal genetics added to them, their human rights diminishes as well. So that's another bonus for them, because if they can make you more of an object than a person, then you're more collateral than a being. So they can impose more control over you.
The whole transhuman agenda is very interesting because of the fact that you're right, and they steal soul energy because they have to steal that energy and essentially give it, pay with it. Because they can't pay with their own soul energy, and they figured out a sort of a loop where they can steal soul energy and give that. And I think when everything finishes up, they're going to be caught for that. The universe will figure them out in the game that they're playing. But they hate having a soul or soul energy because they don't want a soul. They want to be in a body where that they can abuse and use and hurt really bad and just be destructive to and pass the karmic, like you were saying. This is all about getting away, almost like the naughty children, wanting to get away for their naughty deeds. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And they're playing it very well, and they're, for now at least, but they will never achieve what they want. That's the thing. They will get to the brink of achieving it, but they won't. You have to realize, though, I feel really bad for them because whereas, I can eat a meal and feel very blissful having that meal. I can experience emotions of love and all of these beautiful emotions. These, the elite can't. And they're constantly paranoid that their overlords or, that the universe is going to catch on to them and they're going to have to deeply pay. They have much lower emotions. They have a surplus of things, which is almost, it is, I should say, destructive to their soul because they no longer have the joy. When you get maybe a beautiful coat or shirt, you have joy from it.
Yeah.
If you can have unlimited amount, it doesn't seem special anymore. They don't get any of the higher emotions, the more beautiful emotions. They're always living paranoid. They're always living with emotions that they never have enough. They can't experience love because they've shut their heart chakra down so much. They haven't listened to their souls, They haven't listened to their conscience. So in the end, yes, they are definitely being destructive to Earth, but they're being more to the people of Earth, but they're being more destructive to themselves. In the end, they're really destroying themselves.
Yeah, well, they will in the end. But
I
it
think they
comes
are
from
right
a,
now. Imagine living like that. Imagine living,
oh no.
and that's why they do terrible things too. They're always trying to try something new because they have surplus of money. They have surplus of
Mm.
lots of things. They don't get joy from it. Like I said, you got a new coat or something, you would be very happy. If you could have unlimited, that emotion is gone. It's, you take everything for granted. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I know. I mean, that's why a lot of rich and famous people,
Look so
um,
sad.
yeah, well, they all have drug problems and alcohol
Mm,
problems and
exactly.
problems.
Yes. This disconnect from their soul, and they're
Yeah.
using that to patch that up.
Mm.
And they don't want to look at their souls because you realize with somebody who has the platform, the fame, or the money to choose the world, and they are egotistically obsessed, do you realize the karma for that? It's very, very much the karma for that. They
Yeah.
can't look at themselves. They don't want to look at themselves, so they constantly are obsessed with either buying or, fame or events or different stuff, whatever is their weakness. Or I once was told a story of a very wealthy lady who had literally half of her mansion full of shoes, very expensive shoes. And my friend knew this lady, and he said that she got shoes. She had so much money she could buy all the shoes she wanted. But he said she was like a dark hole. She had like a black hole in her. She would sit at night. She'd tell him she'd sit at night just drinking bottles of wine. And she
Mm.
thinks she has all of these material things, but she was so empty inside. That's how they are.
Yeah. Well, it's consumerism. It's the frequency of consumerism, which is Kronos, which is he was represented as devouring his own children. As that sort of energy has been sort of it's being used and used and used because and when people are unhappy, they spend the most money. So they don't want people to be happy because if you're happy, well, like you're saying, it's like you're either using gold coins or you're using soul energy. And if you lack soul energy, then you hunger the gold coins because it's like the fake sun energy, the fake soul energy, solar. So
Yes,
it's the commerce, it's the you know, and when you have one, you don't necessarily need the other. And they've cottoned onto that, so everything is to keep you down, to keep you in the lower energy, so that you need the fake to fill the void because it gives you a
but
void.
they never can with that. They're trying to use all this stuff to fill a black hole from their soul, but they can't.
Yeah,
Not with material goods.
yeah,
It's um it's a very sad thing.
yeah,
I don't think I could ever do it, knowing that there are thousands of children across the world, hundreds of thousands of children across the world that need help. And I could not lay there in my mansion, in my bed, you know, welling myself over everybody and not, helping out when I knew I could. It would be a deeply dark thing, I think.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, vampires.
Um, might interrupt a little bit. Sarah, you have real bad echo, and
You're
Ben just
echoing right
said
now too. Is it
it. I
just
think
that?
you should get a headset and isolate your speaker
Let me
from your
try this
mic.
now again.
And Ben also just sent a message. No,
Okay.
let's do all of us effort so I can apologize if that's okay.
Oh,
Okay.
he doesn't need to apologize.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes,
Is that better?
no, you still get echo.
Well, my headphones working.
No, it sounds okay.
So your laptop is not broken. It's not sending out any sound.
It's not sending out any sound?
That's what feedback is.
James, I think I just got a missed call on here from Ben. Are you able to bring him in or not really?
No, because we are live. Let me type again.
Okay.
And
So it's not better with the headphones?
your sound is not good, so people will get very irritated.
I understand, but this is a test show, so this is the first one. We're not going to have it perfect this time.
I just sent an invitation again. So only when you talk and you and me.
When I get to the United States, I know that my aunt, she has some professional earphones, so I think she can help me out with that when I'm there for next week.
That's what I use right now. Isolate my speaker from my mic. So are people watching this?
I'm going to go ahead and turn down the volume. So maybe, how about that? Is that better?
No, it's still the same thing.
That's strange.
I think Ben's found the right one now. Can you try and add him, James?
I sent it to him. See if you can get in.
Oh, it will get easier, Sarah. It will get easier.
Yes, after a couple of times, we should definitely become professional.
18 new messages. What's going on?
I'm not doing question and answer this time.
No.
You can control it next time.
We will have a key next time. Definitely going to bring lots of food. I can munch on while I'm doing this next time.
So whenever you're ready to quit, just let me know. This is I'm too embarrassed to post it. The earlier to speak is just fine.
We're still live, aren't we?
Yes, we are live, but I can edit it out.
Oh, I see.
It's just the echo is super bad.
Okay.
Go to the group chat. I sent you the YouTube live link. But make sure you click the sound off on YouTube.
I mean, if we have to all buy like professional headphones so that we get this right, I'm up for doing it myself.
I will just give it to Ben, but his network's real bad.
Because I want this to reach a large audience, because I think it would help so many people out. You know, fix the glitches on here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, after we talk for 5 minutes, people just turn off. The sound is so bad.
I don't
Uh,
think it's that bad, is it? Does she sound really bad to you? She sounds all right to me, like a little bit echoey, but not enough to really notice.
the link I just sent you, you can find the video over there.
Oh,
Can play through.
I'm gonna go do that on my phone real quickly and see how I hear. Well, sorry, how I sound. This is low blood sugar. Those spring rolls weren't enough. Okay, let's see. James, can you message? Actually, no, here, I can go get it on Facebook right now. Okay, I'm just gonna ask some of my friends too how it sounds.
The YouTube live stream.
Well, you know, I'm getting some good I'm getting some good feedback, so I think they can kind of hear us.
Yeah, I
Maybe not
think
the
you sound.
best.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem. I can still hear you properly.
Okay, so let's just continue on then.
Okay.
Okay.
And I guess it's 10:44 p.m. here. Maybe we should go for another 30 minutes.
Okay. Shall we quickly talk about time travel, or that might be a bit more
Oh,
exciting than the depressing elites? I don't know. Might cheer people up a bit.
you know, um, when I was over up in San Francisco, I was having a lot of things happen with Castle, and I wasn't able to cope with it. So I downloaded myself from the future that already knew how to overcome that. Did a switch up. So it was really interesting when I did that. I started to look older quickly because it was me from in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. It's called quantum. It's
Then I
quantum.
switched back after. Yes.
Yeah, it's quantum. Did you see yourself when you?
Oh, you know, sometimes I'll be
I'm controlling your camera.
I'll be destroyed in one frequency, but I can travel from the other one, like 2 to 3. So one time there was this being and it moved very quickly, and it was destroying me on one frequency. I came from 2 other frequencies in back of it and could see myself. Yes, so because I had to hit it in the back right here, where the spine is the only way to, where the energy right here, it was the only way to destroy it. So I had one version of me, other versions of me came and took it on. So I do it like that sometimes.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Sometimes I think now I'm gonna really freak people out, but I find myself in other people's bodies. I was having a conversation not long ago with my friends about this here because I will find that if somebody's in trouble, even in other timelines, I suddenly wind up in that person's body. One time there was a girl if I remember, I'm trying to remember, I have so many experiences, either Chicago or New York. She was in trouble. They had put her in the trunk of a car. She was really, really in trouble. She's alive. And she couldn't get out of the trunk. Well, I found myself in her body, and I knew how to get her out. As soon as I found a space to get her out, so she could, it was me, do you understand, like, her body. And as soon as I opened the trunk, I found out how to get the trunk open. I had sensed her desperate calls for help. As soon as she got out, and I saw she got out of where they were, like, some old warehouse or something where the car was, As soon as I felt she would be fine, I switched back into myself. So this happens to me quite a lot.
Well, I was looking into the science side of things of time travel, and I was looking over old black and white interviews, like back from the 50s, of men that had worked in secret projects, and the science side of it, which completely lines up with what you're saying, because what they found was, I've forgotten the name of the man, but he actually had a formula for time travel, and it was basically frequency over time. It was basically that frequency, which is everything's frequency specific, but the frequency is what causes the time travel. So if you match your frequency to a place or a person or a situation, then you will on a level, not on a 3D level specifically, but on a level you will go there, because you've put yourself there. So that makes complete sense. If you're called to a situation or a person, you would in astral be drawn there. I mean, we're all time traveling all the time, because in our minds, most people either live in the future or they live in the past all the time. You know, not many people live in the present at all, which is ironic, because in a way that's all that really exists.
It's really interesting because I seem to be pulled, you know, even for small things, to people that I care about. And I'll find if somebody's trying to be devious towards them, I'll find myself listening in. But I actually have, within this last year, got control of my abilities a lot more. So what I can do is focus on a person's face and then sort of like tune in radio go down till I find a frequency they're on, and then I can latch on to that. And sometimes I know this sounds very insane. I can hear their thoughts or feel their emotions. One time I found
I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
One time I found myself, though, in some of these people, you know, and I'm probably just going to do the tip of the iceberg so I don't. So I know how to put this out in such a way that it is in an intelligent way, because, well, it's very important that I keep myself and everything safe that I care about. But one time I did find myself, again, pulled out of my body and pulled into the body of somebody in a ground military base. They were all having a sort of conference, but they had some sort of technology that could see if that had happened. And at first they didn't see, and then they realized, they started all kind of looking at the body that I was in, because they sensed that, you know, he wasn't in control. I was there watching them, looking at them. Then they kind of were like freaking out, and I was like, oh, I gotta get out of here, because there was something, they were going to do something, and I knew that the walls would be where I could go through. That was a very interesting experience I had probably over a year ago.
Oh, there we go. I think soul technology, the technology of the soul is
highly advanced.
There we go.
What is the water sound?
I don't know.
I'm a bit mischievous sometimes because I do it with people, and then I can see things about them, even if I just met them first time. Say something, you know? They're like looking at me like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
It really does sound like a flush and toilet. That's really bad.
It does. It does. But I haven't got any toilets on this level.
Um, so, yes, have you had any experiences with time travel?
Well, I have a very strange, very, very strange relationship with time.
I don't believe in time.
No,
Restricted to the demiurge.
yeah, I, it sounds really bizarre, but I can sort of come out of that. It's almost as if this time is kind of like it's kind of like a conveyor belt. It's like a frequency, and you can kind of go over it and under it, and you can sort of you don't have to buy into it too much.
Well, from what I remember, it's some old technology that was left on Saturn that projects the time. I tried to project to it. I got to Saturn's moon and got into some trouble there. Quite a bit of trouble. It was already hard getting over the moon.
Is that the moon that looks like the Dark Star in the Death Star in Star Wars? That moon? Because they sent what's it called? Remote viewers to remote view that moon, and I've forgotten of the people that did it, but they're on YouTube, and they actually discovered. What is that?
Oh goodness, it's like everything's listening in right now or something. What is that noise, guys?
I don't know.
Feedback.
Okay, so let's continue on.
Anyway, so they remote viewed. Is it Iapidus, the moon, and they remote viewed it, and they said basically if you went inside of it, you would find lots of remains, like people remains, and lots of systems running on standby. If you flipped a few switches, it would all come on. Basically, it was like a base. When they remote viewed it, they said it was like a base, and it had been like, because of its position, it was in the most really, really beautiful spot of the solar system. You had the view of the Saturn's rings and all the rest of it, and it was like a resort. Like a resort. This is going back like a long time, but before the big wars in the solar system, and it was
Yes, and now
yeah.
Now it's sort of a party spot for all the baddies.
Yeah.
That's why I got caught there.
Yeah. And well, they were remote viewing back when it was like the catastrophe, and it was basically the supply ships that were coming out to just basically give food and supplies to Iapidus. Because there was war in the solar system, they couldn't reach them, and so they just basically perished.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure that's they, like you say, that'll be up and running in some form or another again. But when they remote viewed it,
You there, Nyssa? Nyssa? Yes, old Anunnaki technology. James, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you?
It should drop off.
Yes, can you somehow pull her back on?
No, she dropped off. Let me see if I can invite her.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, she's came back on herself.
Hi. They don't like me talking about the solar system.
No, it doesn't seem so.
I'm sorry. I'll talk about
something
something that doesn't matter.
So it's old Anunnaki technology that was lost on Mars. Sorry, on Saturn. Mars is totally different. And it's a sort of machine. Saturn was a like planet that projected into the frequencies different stuff.
It's a frequency. It gives off a frequency. It's like the, you know, the rings around Saturn just make me think of, you know, like an old record, an old-fashioned
Yes.
record player going round and round and round with a little needle stuck in it, giving off
Yes.
music. Well, it's giving off a frequency, and a lot of people say that then the frequency bounces off the moon and then onto Earth, or goes straight to Earth. I'm not sure which, but
But
I mean that
it's
ties in with
technology.
all the mythologies of
Anunnaki.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, and all of the different religions about whether Jesus or all of those are the same story at the end. The thing is that there are the offspring of the first fallen in vibration. Before, all of the planets were inhabited. They were angelic in a way because they were so high frequency. The technology was based on that of the soul, high frequencies. And a war broke out and destroyed the major amount of planets. And there's all this old technology that's still left on them. Some of them aren't the mutations on them are quite devastating because of the nuclear wars eventually. The wars kept lowering the first beings or creators that manifested from nothingness. It's very hard to explain this. And Saturn, the technology on Saturn is definitely Anunnaki. It's tied genetically to the offspring of the angelic. However, there are groups that are trying to get a hold of that technology because it controls time and some other things, projection of reality, some specific points of reality. And so it's very powerful. And so there was a battle that went on over the technology on Saturn, which lots of the first ones who had created that aren't around anymore. So then instructions to how to work the technology, they don't have, so they're looking for it genetically too, to see the offspring, see if they can find anybody, to find it within their DNA here on Earth. The Greys are from a different gateway. There are different gateways and pathways, or what would you call it, into the system. I came from one, and one time I was speaking to some who had come along with me. We were speaking about another group who we realized entered through another door, you know, into this system. I came to the sun.
yeah. The sun is a gate.
Yes.
It makes me laugh because
Very
like
good
even
one.
when you watch a movie or something, like a Hollywood movie, and they'll have I'm not allowed, I don't know if I'm allowed to say names on here, but you know, like gate, it's the Lion's Gate, isn't it? And Lion's Gate, Leo, the sun, and it's all in your face all the time. You know, the sun is a gate, is a stargate.
Well, what is it? It does show this, the lion-hearted. You know, the lion is often depicted with nobility and dignity and many majestic qualities. For a soul to pass through the sun portal, they must have these. And it is a portal that will burn anything up if that soul has not cleansed itself. There's a story, I think, in the book of Enoch, where it said that the giant tried to fly, to through the portal, if I remember, of the sun, and they started to burn because of
Yeah.
their terrible deeds they had done to humanity.
Yeah.
So they were told to turn around before they were totally destructed. Uh, this is the thing. It is done so that no serpent, no snakes may ever pass through that portal.
Yeah. Well, that's another reason why they're not in a hurry to to die. Basically, they want to buy immortality because they're never gonna sort of the darker aspects are not gonna gain enough soul energy to escape the solar
They're
system in the
hoping
first place.
that they can, and then they can pass through there. They're hoping that by stealing enough energy, they can trick the system.
Oh, okay.
You have to
Yeah.
realize they're after energy, and they know what's on the other side.
Mm.
It would be massive feeding time for them.
Mm. Yeah, that's
Since they
true.
aren't connected to God Creator Source and streaming in energy, they must steal it from others.
Mm.
It's very interesting because the flares from the sun are meant to get more intense and sort of burn the entities, the negative entities, or push them back into the lower realms, so that
Yeah.
the sun is also rigged like that. So I believe the chemtrails are also to weaken a shield around Earth that was set a long time ago, and also to prevent a lot of the sun flares totally hitting Earth, and because if it did, it would clear out a lot of lower negative energy or entities out of people. So
Yeah.
I put in aluminum and some other stuff, they're reflecting it back so that they can
Mm.
sort of try to extract that.
Yeah.
People are definitely, thank you guys for the comments. I'll try to answer some of them after.
Have you had any comments
Yes,
on that?
apparently
Have
there's
you? What are they
some
saying?
people watching that. It's just different comments. I'll send them to you after.
Aw.
But it is a trial run, so
Yeah. You could ask them if there's anything they want us to talk about, then they could say.
so
Uh,
go ahead.
I'm checking out the Hangout audience message board. See if we can type something, because we're not seeing any question and answer.
Mm-hmm. So you want to attach a question and answer. You guys can do that tonight. I've got some packing to do, so I'm going to skip on that one myself. Because this does use a lot of energy. Because I have to shield while I do this.
Okay, shall we call the wrap?
Yeah, shall we let Sarah get some food and sleep? Thank you so much, Sarah. It's lovely to speak with you.
It's very lovely to speak with you guys, and thank you guys for all the patience of trying to get this working. And next week, we will get Ben on, and we will figure out how to have this even much better than this week.
Yeah.
But this is amazing because I think we can have amazing guests on. that we speak about things that are really important. And I'm really, really happy about that.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I'm gonna let you guys go then. I have to pack for my flight. I'm
All
late
right, we'll
right
get
now.
some rest.
Bye.
Bye.
I have to
Stop
figure out how to
broadcasting.
stop broadcasting.